The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was the largest room Yuna had ever seen. It could hold 10,000 beings from across the stars. Today, it held exactly that many. They sat in rows that went up like a mountain on all sides. Blue lights from above made everything look cold. The air smelled like 100 different worlds mixed together. Yuna stood at the human platform. It was a small circle of metal near the bottom of the hall. Her translator device sat in her ear, turning alien words into Korean and then English. Behind her stood her team. Taeho was there, his arms crossed over his chest. Hana typed something on her datapad. Do-Hyeon watched the crowd with careful eyes. "The council will now hear the matter of the Voth War," said the voice from above. Yuna looked up. Council leader Torak sat on a floating platform high above everyone else. He was a Corvin, a species that looked like tall gray birds with 4 arms. His feathers were dark, almost black. His eyes were small and yellow. When he spoke, his beak clicked between words. "The Voth have attacked 3-member worlds," Torak continued. "They have killed over 2 million citizens. The Council has decided to respond with full military force. We will destroy their home world and end their threat forever." The hall filled with sounds of agreement. Clicking, humming, roaring. Each species had its own way of showing they approved. Yuna did not make a sound. "However," Torak said, raising one of his 4 hands, "we require a unanimous vote from all senior species. This includes humanity." More sounds filled the hall. Yuna felt thousands of eyes turn toward her small platform. Humans had only been part of the council for 30 years. They were still new, still learning, still being tested. "Ambassador Yuna of Earth," Torak said her name like it tasted bad. "How does humanity vote?" Yuna took a breath. She had prepared for this moment for weeks. She had read every report about the Voth. She had studied their history, their culture, their reasons for attacking. She knew things the council did not want to know. "Humanity votes no," she said. The hall went silent. It was the kind of silence that felt heavy, like a blanket made of stone. Then the noise came. Angry sounds from every direction. Yuna stood still and waited. "No?" Torak leaned forward on his platform. "You refuse to support the defense of council worlds?" "I refuse to support the destruction of an entire species," Yuna said. Her voice was calm. "The Voth attacked because we took their mining rights in the Kolar system. They have asked for talks 3 times. Each time, this council refused. They are murderers." "They are desperate," Yuna replied. "There is a difference." Torak's feathers stood up. This meant he was angry. Every species in the hall knew this sign. "The human ambassador speaks for peace with killers," he said loudly. "Perhaps humans do not understand how the galaxy works. Perhaps they are too young, too foolish, too soft." Behind Yuna, Taeho took a step forward. She raised her hand slightly, telling him to stay back. "We understand perfectly," Yuna said. "We simply disagree." Torak looked to the other senior council members. There were 11 of them, each from an ancient species. They sat on platforms around the hall, watching everything. Torak nodded at one of them, a being called Morath, who looked like a giant spider made of crystal. "I call for a special vote," Torak announced. "The matter is not the Velith. The matter is humanity's place in this council." Yuna felt her stomach go cold. She had expected anger. She had expected insults. She had not expected this. "What do you propose?" asked Morath. Her voice sounded like glass breaking slowly. "Humans have shown they cannot cooperate with council decisions," Torak said. "I propose we remove their speaking rights. They will remain members, but they will not be allowed to speak in this hall. They will observe in silence until they learn what cooperation means." The hall erupted again. Some sounds were angry. Some were happy. Some were confused. Yuna heard her own heartbeat in her ears. Hana stepped close to her. "Ambassador, this is not legal." "They cannot do this." "They can do whatever they vote for," Yuna whispered back. "That is how this place works. Should I contact Earth?" Duhayan asked. "No, not yet." The vote happened quickly. Each senior species gave their answer. Yes, yes, 11 times. The answer was yes. Only humanity would have said no, but humanity could not vote on its own punishment. Tarak looked down at Yuna with something like pleasure in his yellow eyes. The motion passes. Effective immediately, humanity's speaking rights are suspended. You may observe. You may not participate. You will sit in silence until this council decides you have learned your lesson. Yuna looked at her team. Teho's face was red with anger. Hana's hands were shaking. Duhayan looked like he wanted to break something, but Yuna simply nodded. She did not argue. She did not protest. She did not ask for another chance. She just nodded. Then she sat down in her chair and folded her hands in her lap. Tarak seemed surprised by this. He had expected shouting. He had expected humans to fight, to make noise, to be difficult. That was what young species did when they were punished. They made a scene, but Yuna sat quietly. Her team stood behind her, also quiet. The human platform became an island of silence in a sea of noise. "Good," Tarak said finally. "Perhaps humans can learn after all." The council moved on to other matters. Trade agreements, border disputes, mining rights, the normal business of running a galaxy. Yuna listened to all of it. She took notes. She shared looks with her team. But she did not say a single word. 3 hours later, the session ended. The platforms began to lower, carrying their passengers to the exits below. Yuna and her team stayed seated until they were on the ground. "Ambassador," a voice called out. Yuna turned. A being approached her. It was a Telkari, a species that looked like tall purple trees that could walk. This one was named Varix, and he had always been friendly to humans. "Ambassador Yuna," Varix said. His voice was like wind through leaves. "I am sorry for what happened today. I tried to argue against it, but the votes were already decided before the session began." Yuna gave him a small bow. "Thank you, Varix. We appreciate your kindness. What will you do now?" Varix asked. "Will you appeal? Will you petition the Central Court?" "There are options." Yuna smiled. It was a strange smile, Varix thought. It did not look like a smile of someone who had just been humiliated in front of the galaxy. "We will do what the council asked," Yuna said. "We will be silent." Varix tilted his trunk-like body, confused. "That is all?" "That is all." Yuna turned and walked away. Her team followed her. They moved through the great halls of the council building, past the statues of ancient leaders, past the gardens filled with plants from 1,000 worlds, past the fountains that flowed with water from Earth and liquid metals from other places. They reached their shuttle bay. Their ship was small compared to the massive vessels of older species. It was simple and gray, with blue lights along its wings. Once inside, with the doors closed, Teho finally exploded. "This is madness," he shouted. "They cannot do this to us. We have to fight back. We have to." "Teho," Yuna said calmly. "Sit down. But Ambassador, sit down." Teho sat. His hands were still curled into fists. Yuna looked at her team. Hana, Duhayan, Teho, 3 of the best people Earth had ever sent to the stars. They were angry. They were hurt. They felt betrayed. "Listen to me carefully," Yuna said. "What happened today was wrong. But fighting will not fix it. Arguing will not fix it. Begging will not fix it. Then what will?" Hana asked. Yuna sat down in her chair. The shuttle began to lift off, carrying them away from the council building. Silence, she said. What do you mean? Duhayan asked. Yuna looked out the window. The council building grew smaller below them. It was a massive structure, shaped like a flower with 100 petals. Beautiful, powerful, but it needed things to survive. It needed trade. It needed communication. It needed all the small parts working together, and humans were part of many of those small parts. They want us to be silent, Yuna said. So we will be silent. Completely silent. In everything we do. Hana's eyes went wide. Ambassador, you cannot mean. I mean exactly that, Yuna said. Send a message to Earth. Use the secure channel. Tell them it has begun. What has begun? Tejo asked. Yuna smiled again. That strange, calm smile. Protocol Quiet Night. The team looked at each other. They had heard of Protocol Quiet Night. Every human diplomat knew about it. But no one had ever used it. No one had ever needed to dot until now. Are you sure? Duhayan asked quietly. Yuna nodded. They wanted to teach us a lesson. Instead, they will learn one. They will learn what the galaxy looks like when humans stop talking, stop trading, stop helping. They will learn what silence really means. Hana typed the message on her datapad. Her hands were no longer shaking. Now they were steady. Now she understood. Message sent, she said. Good, Yuna replied. Now we wait. The shuttle flew toward the human station in orbit. Behind them, the council building glowed in the light of 3 suns. Inside, Tarek was probably celebrating. He had put the humans in their place. He had shown them who was in charge. He had no idea what was coming done in 12 hours. Every human in the galaxy would know what happened. In 24 hours, they would start to move. In 48 hours, the council would begin to notice something was wrong. And by then, it would be far too late. Yuna closed her eyes and let herself rest. The hardest part was over. She had stayed calm. She had not given them the reaction they. The message reached Earth in exactly 3 seconds. Light-speed communication through the quantum relay network made distances meaningless. One moment, Yuna pressed send. The next moment, every human leader in the galaxy knew what had happened. Tejo sat in the command center of the human trade fleet. It was a massive room filled with screens and lights. 50 operators worked at their stations, tracking the movement of human ships across the galaxy. The fleet was not as big as the fleets of older species, but it was fast and reliable. Human ships carried goods to places others would not go. Captain, a young woman named Sumi called out, I am receiving the Protocol Quiet Night order. It is confirmed by 3 separate channels. Tejo nodded. He had expected this after hearing from Yuna, but seeing it official made it real. Show me, he said. The main screen changed. It displayed a simple message with the seal of Earth's government. Protocol. Quiet Night. Active all human operations to enter silent mode. Nitrogen monoxide exclamation to non-human entities. Duration. Until further notice. So it begins. Tejo whispered around him. His crew stopped working. They all looked at the screen. They all understood what it meant. Captain, said a man named Jinwoo. He was the oldest person on the crew, with gray hair and tired eyes. What do we do first? Tejo stood up. He walked to the center of the room where everyone could see him. We do what the council asked, he said. We stay silent. That means no more communication with council channels. No more participating in their trade meetings. No more explaining ourselves. And our ships? Sumi asked. We pull them back. Every human merchant ship, every cargo transport, every passenger ferry. They all come home. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Jinwoo spoke again. Sir, We carry supplies to over 200 worlds. If we stop, those worlds will have problems. Some of them will have serious problems. Tao Ho looked at him. I know. People could get hurt. I know that too. Jin Woo sat back in his chair. He was not arguing. He was just making sure he understood the weight of the decision. The council made their choice, Taeho said to everyone. They decided humans do not deserve to speak. They decided our voice does not matter. So we will show them what happens when humans have no voice. We will show them what silence looks like. He turned to his communication officer, a young man named Hyun Woo. Send the recall order to all ships. Use the emergency channel. I want every human vessel heading home within 6 hours. Yes, Captain. The orders went out. Across the galaxy, human ships began to turn. Merchant vessels left their routes. Cargo transports dropped their schedules. Passenger ships changed their destinations. It was like watching 1,000 rivers suddenly flow backward. On Space Station Harmony 7, a Corvan trademaster named Bellic noticed something strange. He was watching his screens, tracking the ships that brought food to his station. 3 of them were human ships. They brought fresh vegetables from Earth, grain from the colony on New Sol, and medical supplies from the human research stations. All 3 ships changed course at the same time. What is happening? Bellic asked his assistant. The assistant checked the channels. The human ships are leaving, sir. They are not responding to our messages. What do you mean leaving? They have contracts. They have deliveries to make. They are not responding, sir. Bellic tried to call the ships himself. He sent 10 messages, 20 messages, 50 messages. Nothing came back. The human ships simply flew away in silence. Get me the human trade office, Bellic ordered. His assistant tried. The line was dead. Try the human embassy. Also dead. Try any human channel you can find. Nothing. Every human communication channel was silent. It was like talking to empty space dot in the medical bay of planet Varth. A doctor named Morix watched her supplies carefully. She was a Telkari, like Varix, with purple bark-like skin and long branch-like arms. Her hospital served 3 million patients across the northern continent. Humans had helped build this hospital. Human medicine had saved thousands of lives here. Doctor, her assistant said. We have a problem. What is it? The supply ship from Earth did not arrive. The tracking system shows it changed course 12 hours ago. Morix checked her inventory. She had enough basic medicine for 2 weeks. But some special medicines only came from Earth. Humans had created them. Humans made them. No one else knew how. Did they say why? Morix asked. No, they said nothing. All human channels are silent. That cannot be right. Try again. Her assistant tried for the next 3 hours. By the end, Morix understood the truth. The humans were gone. No warning. No explanation. Just silence. On the communication relay station above planet Zerith, a human engineer named Hana worked quietly. She had been stationed here for 5 years. Her job was to maintain the quantum relay systems that allowed instant communication across the galaxy. Humans had invented these systems. Humans had built them. Humans maintained them. Now Hana was shutting them down. Are you sure about this? Her colleague asked. His name was Sung-ho. He was young, only 2 years out of training. Orders are orders, Hana said. But if we turn off this relay, 12 systems will lose communication with each other. I know. That is billions of people. Hana stopped working. She looked at Sung-ho with calm eyes. Do you know what happened at the council yesterday? I heard something. They took away our speaking rights. They silenced us, Hana said. They decided human voices do not matter. So now we will show them what that really means. She turned back to her console and entered the shutdown codes. We built this relay. We built 37 relays across the galaxy. We did it because we wanted to help. We wanted to connect species. We wanted to make the galaxy a smaller, friendlier place. The system began to power down. Lights turned from green to yellow to red. Now they will see what the galaxy looks like without our help. The relay went offline. 12 star systems suddenly could not talk to each other. Messages stopped. Trade deals froze. Emergency calls went nowhere. It was like cutting a nerve in a body. The body could survive, but it would feel the pain. Across the galaxy, the same scene repeated. Human engineers left their stations. Human traders closed their offices. Human doctors packed their bags. Human teachers said goodbye to their students. Human helpers stopped helping. None of them explained why. None of them argued. None of them made a scene. They simply left in silence. Council leader Torak received his first report 6 hours after the council session ended. He was in his private office, a beautiful room with windows that showed the 3 suns of the council home world. Leader Torak, his assistant said, "We are receiving strange reports from several systems." "What kind of reports?" "Human activities have stopped. Their ships are leaving. Their workers are departing. Their communication channels are closed." Torak made a sound like a snort. "Good. They are sulking. Like children who did not get what they wanted. They will return when they calm down." "Perhaps, leader. But some systems are reporting problems. Station Harmony 7 says their food deliveries have stopped. Planet Vorath says their medical supplies are not coming. The relay above Zerith has gone offline." Torak waved one of his 4 hands. "Small matters. Other species will fill the gaps. Humans think they are important. They will learn they are not." His assistant bowed and left. Torak returned to his work. He had reports to read, decisions to make, power to maintain. He did not waste another thought on the humans. This was his first mistake. 12 hours later, the reports became harder to ignore. 20 relay stations had gone offline. Human relays. They had been running for decades without problems. Now they were simply off. No one could turn them back on. No one knew the access codes. "Get human engineers to fix this," Torak ordered. "Leader, the human engineers are gone. They left their stations. Then get other engineers. Other species do not know how to operate human systems. They use different technology." Torak felt a strange feeling in his chest. It was the beginning of worry. What about the trade routes? Have other species taken over? "Some have tried, leader. But human ships are very fast. Other ships take 3 times longer to travel the same distance. Deliveries are already late across 40 systems. Food supplies? Running low in some places. Humans grew food on many colony worlds. Those colonies have stopped sending food. Medical supplies? Several hospitals report shortages of human-made medicines. These medicines treat diseases that only humans have cured." Torak stood up and walked to his window. Outside, the 3 suns were setting. The sky turned orange and purple. It was beautiful. But Torak did not see the beauty. He saw something else. He saw a problem, but he was too proud to admit it yet. "Send messages to the human embassy," he ordered. "Tell them this behavior is unacceptable. Tell them they must resume their duties immediately." "Yes, leader." The messages were sent. The messages received no reply. Hours passed. Then days. The humans did not respond. They did not argue. They did not complain. They did not ask for their speaking rights back. They just stayed silent. And the silence grew louder. On the human station in orbit, Una watched the reports come in. Each one made her feel something complicated. Pride in her people for standing together. sadness for the innocent beings who would suffer, determination to see this through. The council is sending more messages, Duhain reported. Each one is more angry than the last. Do not respond, Yuna said. They are threatening us now. They say they will punish us further. Do not respond. Ambassador, they are scared. 7 days after the council vote, the first world ran out of medicine. Planet Nearith was a beautiful place with blue forests and silver oceans. 12 million Telkari lived there. Most of them were old. Most of them needed medicine every day to survive. The medicine came from Earth. Dr. Yojin had worked on Nearith for 15 years. She was a human specialist in Telkari biology. She had created treatments that added decades to Telkari lives. She had trained local doctors. She had built clinics in every major city. Now she was packing her bags. Please, the hospital director begged. Her name was Silith, and her purple bark skin had turned gray with worry. Please do not leave. Our patients need you. Yojin closed her suitcase. Her heart felt heavy, but her face showed nothing. I'm sorry, she said. I cannot stay. Why? What did we do wrong? Yojin paused. She wanted to explain. She wanted to tell Silith about the council vote, about the silence order, about everything. But her orders were clear. No explanations. No discussions. Just silence. I am sorry, she said again. She walked out of the hospital she had helped build. Behind her, she heard Silith crying. The sound followed her all the way to the shuttleport. The same scene happened on dozens of worlds. Human doctors left their hospitals. Human teachers left their schools. Human engineers left their power plants. Human farmers left their fields. They did not explain. They did not argue. They just left. On the council home world, Torak received reports every hour. Each report was worse than the last. Leader Torak, his assistant said, the food distribution network is failing. Human ships carried 63% of all food between systems. Without them, many worlds cannot feed themselves. Other species will take over the routes. They are trying, leader. But human ships have special engines. They are faster and more efficient. Other ships cannot match their speed or carry as much cargo. Torak slammed his fist on his desk. The sound made his assistant jump. Then tell them to work harder. Tell them to build better ships. That takes time, leader. Years. Maybe decades. We do not have decades. No, leader. We do not. Torak walked to the window. His feathers were pressed flat against his body. This was a sign of stress. A sign of fear. He had not felt fear in many years. What else? He asked quietly. The relay network is operating at 40% capacity. 52 human-built stations are offline. Communication between systems is slow and unreliable. Can we repair them? No, leader. The technology is human. Our engineers do not understand it. What about the humans who built them? Force them to fix the stations. His assistant was quiet for a moment. Leader, we cannot force them. They are council members. They have rights. They have no speaking rights. Speaking rights and civil rights are different, leader. We cannot arrest them. We cannot force them to work. They are simply choosing not to work. Torak turned around. His eyes were bright with anger. Then what can we do? We can ask them to come back. Never. I will not beg humans for help. Then, leader, I do not know what to tell you. The assistant left. Torak stood alone in his office. The three suns were high in the sky. Their light should have felt warm. Instead, Torak felt cold. On planet Morith, home of the crystal spider species, the power grid failed on the 8th day. Morith was a cold world. Its people needed heat to survive. Human engineers had built their power plants 20 years ago. The plants ran on a special type of energy that humans had discovered. It was clean and efficient and had worked perfectly for 2 decades. The human engineers had left 6 days ago. They took their knowledge with them. When the first power plant developed a problem, no one knew how to fix it. The plant shut down. Then the second plant failed. Then the third. By the end of the day, half of Morath was dark and freezing. Emergency shelters opened, but they could not hold everyone. Families huddled together for warmth. Children cried in the darkness. The leader of Morath, a massive crystal spider named Korath, sent emergency messages to the council. "We need help." His message said, "Our people are dying. Send engineers. Send anyone who can fix our power plants." The council received the message. They sent engineers from other species. The engineers looked at the human technology and shook their heads. "We do not understand this system," they said. "It is too advanced. It is too different. We cannot help." Korath sent another message, this time directly to the human station. "Please," his message said. "We had no part in the council vote. We did not support taking your speaking rights. Please help us. Our children are cold." The message received no reply. Korath sent another message, and another, and another. 10 messages, 20 messages, 50 messages. Each one more desperate than the last. Silence. On the human station, Yuna read every message. Each one was like a knife in her heart. She did not enjoy this. She did not want innocent people to suffer, but she understood something the council did not understand. "They need to feel the pain," she said to her team. "If we help now, nothing will change. The council will learn nothing. They will treat us the same way tomorrow." "But children are dying," Hannah said. Her voice was small. "Yes, and that is the council's fault, not ours. They created this situation. They refused to listen to us for 30 years. They treated us like we did not matter. Now they are learning the truth." "What truth?" "That everything is connected. That you cannot silence one voice without losing something important. That humans are not extra pieces that can be removed. We are part of the machine. Remove us and the machine breaks." Du Hyan looked at his datapad. "The council is calling an emergency session. They want to discuss the situation." "Let them discuss," Yuna said. "We will not attend. We have no speaking rights. They might change that. They might give our rights back. They might. But words are easy. I want to see actions. I want to see real change." The emergency council session began the next morning. Torak stood at the center of the great hall, looking out at the thousands of beings gathered there. Many of them looked scared. Many of them looked angry. "The situation is serious," Torak admitted. "Human withdrawal has caused problems across the galaxy. We must find solutions." "What solutions?" shouted a voice from the crowd. "Humans built half our systems. Without them, we are helpless." "We are not helpless," Torak insisted. "We survived before humans came. We will survive without them." "That was 100 years ago. Everything is different now. Human technology is everywhere." Torak held up his 4 hands for silence. "I understand your concerns, but we cannot give in to human manipulation. They are trying to force us to change our decision. If we do that, we show weakness." Varix, the Telkari diplomat who had been friendly to humans, stood up. "Leader Torak," he said, "with respect, this is not about weakness or strength. This is about survival. My homeworld is running out of medicine. People are dying. Not in small numbers. In thousands. That is regrettable. But regrettable?" Varix's voice shook with anger. "My daughter is sick. She needs human medicine to live. She has 3 days of medicine left. After that, she will die. Is that just regrettable? The hall went silent. Torak opened his beak to speak, but no words came out. Varix continued. We voted to silence the humans because we thought they were small. We thought they were weak. We thought they were not important. We were wrong. We were terribly, horribly wrong. He turned to face the crowd. The humans did not fight back when we took their rights. They did not argue. They did not complain. They simply withdrew. They stopped helping. And now we see the truth. We see how much we depended on them. We see how much they gave us. We see how blind we were. What do you suggest? Asked Korath from his platform. His crystal body was dim. His world was still freezing. I suggest we admit our mistake, Varix said. I suggest we go to the humans with humility. I suggest we ask them to come back, not as servants, but as equals. Torak's feathers stood up. You want us to beg? I want us to survive. The hall erupted in argument. Some supported Varix. Some supported Torak. Some did not know what to think. The noise grew louder and louder until it was impossible to hear anything. Torak raised his hands again and again. Finally, order returned. We will not make any decisions today, he announced. We need time to think. We need time to find other solutions. We do not have time, Varix shouted. Every day we wait, more people die. The session is closed, Torak said firmly. We will meet again in 3 days. The platforms began to lower. Beings moved toward the exits. The great hall emptied slowly. Varix stood alone on his platform, watching Torak float away. The council leader looked tired. He looked old. He looked like someone who knew he had made a terrible mistake but could not admit it. 3 days, Varix thought. 3 days of waiting while worlds suffered. 3 days of pride and fear and stubbornness. He did not know if his daughter could survive 3 days. He did not know if any of them could. On the human station, Yuna watched the recording of the council session. She saw Varix stand up. She heard his words about his daughter. She saw the fear in his eyes. Ambassador, Duhayan said quietly. Varix was our friend. He spoke for us when no one else would. I know. His daughter is innocent. I know that too. Yuna closed her eyes. The weight of her decision pressed down on her shoulders like a mountain. Send a messa? 14 days after the council vote, Torak came to the human station. He did not announce his visit. He did not bring guards or assistants. He came alone in a small shuttle, wearing simple clothes instead of his leader robes. The docking request came to Tejo first. A Corvan shuttle is asking permission to land, the operator said. 1 passenger. No weapons detected. Who is the passenger? The identification says, Council Leader Torak. Tejo nearly dropped his coffee. He had many feelings about Torak. Most of them were angry. But he also knew better than to make this decision alone. Tell him to wait. I need to speak with Ambassador Yuna. Yuna was in her office when Tejo called. She was reading reports about the situation across the galaxy. Every report was bad. Food shortages on 40 worlds. Medicine shortages on 60 worlds. Power failures on 12 worlds. Communication breakdowns everywhere. Torak wants to land? She asked. Yes, Ambassador. Alone. No guards. Yuna was quiet for a moment. This was unexpected. Torak was proud. Torak did not visit people. People visited him. For him to come here, alone, meant something had changed. Let him land, she said. Bring him to meeting room 7. I will be there in 10 minutes. Should I search him for weapons? No. Treat him with respect. He's still a council leader, whatever else he may be. Meeting room 7 was simple. A metal table. 4 chairs. A window that showed the stars. Nothing impressive. Nothing meant to intimidate. Just a room for talking. Torak entered slowly. His feathers were gray now, not black. Yuna remembered reading the Corvins turned gray under extreme stress. Their bodies could not hide their emotions. "Ambassador Yuna," Torak said. His voice was quiet. "Thank you for seeing me." Yuna gestured to a chair. "Please sit, Council Leader." They sat across from each other. For a long moment, neither spoke. The silence was heavy between them. Finally, Torak broke it. "I have come to ask for your help." Yuna did not react. Her face stayed calm. Her hands stayed still on the table. "The Council removed our speaking rights," she said. "We cannot help. We cannot even discuss helping. We can only observe in silence." Torak's feathers pressed flat against his skull. "I understand that. I am not here as Council Leader. I am here as a person. As someone who has made a mistake." "What mistake?" "You know what mistake." Yuna leaned forward slightly. "I want to hear you say it." Torak looked at the table. His 4 hands were folded together, the fingers intertwined. "I underestimated humanity," he said. "I thought you were young and foolish and unimportant. I thought silencing you would teach you respect. Instead, I have learned something about myself. I have learned that I am the foolish one." He looked up at Yuna. His yellow eyes were dull with exhaustion. "My people are proud, Ambassador. We have ruled the Council for 3,000 years. We have never needed anyone else. We have never depended on anyone else. When humans arrived, we saw you as children. Useful, perhaps. Clever, certainly. But not important. Not essential. Not equal. And now?" Yuna asked. "Now I see the truth. You are not children. You are not servants. You are the ones who hold everything together. Your ships carry our food. Your doctors heal our sick. Your engineers power our worlds. Your technology connects our stars. Without you, we are falling apart." He paused. His voice cracked slightly when he spoke again. "Without you, we will die." Yuna sat back in her chair. She had waited 2 weeks to hear these words. Now that she heard them, she felt no satisfaction. Only sadness. "What do you want from me, Torak?" "I want you to come back. I want humans to help us again. I want to fix what I broke, and in return, I will restore your speaking rights. I will tell the Council I was wrong. I will tell the Council, I will tell the Council, I will tell the Council, I will." Yuna held up her hand. "No," Torak stopped. "No? Speaking rights are not enough. Not anymore. Then what do you want?" Yuna reached into her pocket and pulled out a small datapad. She placed it on the table and slid it toward Torak. "These are our terms." Torak picked up the datapad. He read the screen. His feathers slowly rose as he understood what he was seeing. "Full Council membership," he read aloud. "With permanent voting rights. A seat on the Senior Council. Equal say in all military decisions. Protection from future silencing." He looked up. "This is too much. The Council will never agree to this. Then the Council will continue to suffer. You are asking us to make humans equal to species that have existed for 100,000 years. I am asking you to recognize reality," Yuna said calmly. "We are already essential. We are already equal in importance. Now we want that importance recognized officially." Torak put down the datapad. "This is blackmail. No, this is negotiation. Blackmail requires threats. We have made no threats. We have simply stopped helping. There is a difference. The result is the same. Worlds are suffering. People are dying." Yuna's eyes hardened. "Yes, people are dying. And whose fault is that? We did not attack anyone. We did not destroy anything. We simply withdrew. If the galaxy cannot survive without us, that is not our crime. That is your dependency. Torak stood up suddenly. His chair fell backward with a crash. You think you are so righteous, he shouted. You think you are the victims, but you are choosing to let people die. You have the power to save them, and you are choosing not to. How is that different from murder? Una stood up too. She did not shout. She did not need to. For 30 years we asked the council to give us a real voice. For 30 years we were ignored, dismissed, treated like children who should be grateful for any attention at all. We tried diplomacy. We tried patience. We tried being good partners. Nothing worked. She walked around the table until she stood face to face with Torak. You want to know what is different? When we asked for help, you said no. When we asked for respect, you said no. When we asked for equality, you said no. Now you are asking us for help, and we are saying no. The only difference is that our no actually hurts. Torak's feathers were shaking. Not from anger now. From something else. From fear. From shame. From the slow, painful recognition of truth. I cannot go back to the council with these terms, he said. They will never accept them. It will destroy my career. It will destroy everything I have built. That is your problem, Una said. We did not create this situation. You did. Now you have to fix it. Please. The word came out like a whisper. There must be another way. Some compromise. Something. Una looked at him for a long moment. She saw an old man, tired and scared. She saw someone who had ruled for so long that he had forgotten how to listen. She saw someone who was finally, painfully learning a lesson he should have learned years ago. Part of her wanted to help him. Part of her wanted to be kind, but kindness had not worked before. Only strength worked. Only pain. There is no compromise, she said. Accept our terms or leave. Torak picked up the datapad. He stared at it like it was poison. How long do I have to decide? The galaxy is running out of time. I would not wait too long. Torak turned and walked toward the door. He moved slowly, like every step was heavy. When he reached the door, he stopped. I was wrong about you, he said without turning around. I thought humans were weak. I thought you could not fight. I thought you would break under pressure. And now? Torak turned his head slightly. His yellow eyes met hers. Now I know the truth. Humans do not fight with weapons. You fight with silence. You fight with absence. You fight by making others feel the emptiness you leave behind. It is a terrible kind of strength. It is the only kind we have, Una said. We learned it from you. Torak left without another word. Una stood alone in the meeting room. Outside the window, the stars burned with their ancient light. Somewhere out there, billions of beings waited for a decision that would shape the future of the galaxy. Tejo entered a few minutes later. Ambassador? How did it go? He will accept, Una said. How do you know? Because he has no choice. The council is failing. His people are dying. His legacy is crumbling. He came here in secret, alone, without guards. That tells me everything. What if he refuses? What if his pride is stronger than his fear? Una turned from the window. Her face was calm, but her eyes held something hard and bright. Then more people will die. And eventually, someone else will come. Someone who is willing to accept our terms. It might take days. It might take weeks. But someone will come. Because they have to. She walked toward the door. Prepare the medical teams, she said. When the agreement is signed, I want our doctors back on those worlds within hours. I want no one else to die after we return. And if Torak does not agree? Yuna paused in the doorway. Then we wait. Silence is patient, Tejo. Silence can wait forever. The question is whether they can. She left the room. Tejo stood alone for a moment, looking out at the stars. He had followed Yuna for many years. He had seen her be kind. He had seen her be clever. He had seen her be brave. But today he had seen something new. Something cold and hard and unyielding. Something that would not break. No matter the pressure, he understood now why the council should have listened to humans from the beginning. Not because humans were loud, but because humans knew how to be quiet. And quiet, it turned out, was far more frightening than noise. 3 days later, Torak called another emergency session. His voice was tired when he spoke, but his words were clear. I have met with the human delegation, he announced. They have presented their terms for returning to full cooperation. The day the agreement was signed, the galaxy held its breath. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council had never been so full. Every species sent their leaders. Every world sent their representatives. The floating platforms were packed with beings of every shape and size. They came to watch history. They came to see the new order begin. Yuna arrived exactly on time. She wore a simple black suit with a small pin on her chest. The pin showed Earth, a tiny blue dot surrounded by stars. Her team walked behind her. Tejo, Hana, Duhayan. They had been through everything together. They would share this moment too. The human platform had been changed. It was no longer a small circle at the bottom of the hall. It was now equal in size to the platforms of the senior council members. It floated at the same height. It had the same lights, the same equipment, the same presence. Yuna stepped onto the platform. It rose slowly, carrying her up through the hall. She passed thousands of faces. Some were friendly. Some were hostile. Most were simply curious. They wanted to see what kind of being could bring the council to its knees without firing a weapon. The platform stopped when it reached the senior council level. 11 other platforms floated in a circle around the center of the hall. 11 ancient species. 11 powers that had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. Now there were 12. Council leader Torak floated forward on his platform. He looked old and tired. The past 2 weeks had aged him more than the previous 20 years. But his voice was steady when he spoke. We are gathered here to witness a new chapter in galactic history, he said. The human species has been granted full membership in the senior council. They will have permanent voting rights, equal say, in all military decisions and protection from future silencing. These rights are guaranteed by the full authority of this council. He turned to face Yuna. Ambassador Yuna of Earth, do you accept these terms and the responsibilities that come with them? Yuna nodded. I accept. Then, I declare this agreement official. Humanity is now a senior member of the Galactic Council. May this partnership bring peace and prosperity to all our species. The hall erupted in sound. Some beings cheered. Some clapped in their own strange ways. Some made noises of disapproval. But most were simply quiet, watching and thinking about what this meant. Torak was not finished. There is one more matter, he said. The senior council has discussed the question of leadership. Given recent events, it has been decided that a new perspective is needed. A new voice, a new approach. He paused. The hall went silent. By unanimous vote of the senior council, Ambassador Yuna of Earth has been named senior chair. She will lead our deliberations and guide our decisions going forward. Now the hall truly exploded. This was more than anyone expected. Humans had not just won equal status. They had been given the highest position in the council. The species that had been silenced 2 weeks ago was now in charge. Yuna kept her face calm, but inside she felt a storm of emotions. Surprise, pride, fear, responsibility. all of it mixed together in a chest. Torak's platform floated toward hers. When they were close, he bowed his head. "The senior chair is traditionally granted a formal induction," he said. "But I think you have earned the right to skip the ceremony. Take your seat, Ambassador. Lead us." Yuna looked at the senior chair. It was a simple seat in the center of the highest platform. From there, she could see the entire hall, every face, every platform, every corner of the great room where the fate of the galaxy was decided. She walked to the chair and sat down. The seat was comfortable. The view was incredible. But what Yuna noticed most was the silence. 10,000 beings waited for her to speak. They hung on her next words, like their lives depended on it. In some ways, their lives did depend on it. "Thank you," Yuna said. Her voice was carried throughout the hall by the communication system. Every being heard her clearly. "I know many of you are worried about what this change means. Some of you are angry. Some of you are scared. I understand." She paused. "I am going to say something that might surprise you. I am not here for revenge. I am not here to punish anyone. What happened in the past 2 weeks was painful for everyone. Many people suffered. Some people died. That weight sits heavy on my heart." She looked around the hall, meeting as many eyes as she could. "But I did not do this to hurt anyone. I did it because we had no other choice. For 30 years, humanity asked for respect. For 30 years, we were ignored. We tried every peaceful way to change things. Nothing worked, so we stopped asking. We stopped explaining. We stopped participating. And you saw what happened. The galaxy needs humans, not because we are special, not because we are better than anyone else, but because we have become part of everything. Our ships carry your food. Our doctors heal your sick. Our engineers power your worlds. Our technology connects your stars. We are woven into the fabric of this civilization. You cannot remove us without tearing that fabric apart." Torak listened from his platform. His feathers had returned to their normal black color, but his eyes still looked tired. "Now we have a chance to start fresh," Yuna continued. "A chance to build something better. Not a council where some species are silent and others are heard. Not a council where the strong ignore the weak. A true partnership, a real family of species working together." She stood up from the senior chair. "And we will start with the matter that brought us here. The Voleth." The hall rustled. Many beings remembered that the Voleth War had started all of this. Humanity's refusal to support the war had led to their silencing. The silencing had led to the withdrawal. The withdrawal had led to this moment. "The Voleth are not monsters," Yuna said. "They are a desperate species fighting for survival. We took their mining rights in the Kolar system. We ignored their requests for negotiation. We pushed them until they had no choice but to fight." She looked at Torak. "Council Leader Torak, shall we discuss the Voleth Peace Treaty now?" These were her first words as senior chair. Her first official action. And she used them to return to the very issue that had caused so much pain. Torak nodded slowly. "Yes, senior chair. Let us discuss." The debate lasted 3 hours. Many species spoke. Some supported peace. Some wanted war. Some did not know what they wanted. But Yuna led the discussion with patience and fairness. She made sure every voice was heard. She asked good questions. She guided the conversation toward understanding. In the end, the vote was close. But peace won. The council would send ambassadors to the Voleth. They would negotiate new terms for the Kolar mining rights. They would try to find a solution that worked for everyone. When the vote was announced, Yuna felt tears in her eyes. She blinked them away quickly. A senior chair should not cry in public, but she was allowed to feel. After the session ended, Yuna returned to the human station. Her team was waiting for her in the common room. They had watched the entire session together. "You did it," Hannah said. Her voice was full of wonder. "You actually did it." "We did it," Yuna corrected. All of us. Everyone who stayed silent. Everyone who trusted the plan. Everyone who believed we could change things. Tejo poured drinks for everyone. It was a human tradition, sharing drinks after a great success. He handed a glass to Yuna. What happens now? He asked. Yuna took the glass but did not drink yet. She walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Now the real work begins, she said. Being silenced was easy compared to what comes next. Now we have to lead. We have to prove that we deserve this position. We have to show that humans can guide the galaxy toward a better future. Do you think we can do it? Duhayan asked. Yuna smiled. It was a real smile this time. Not the cold, hard smile she had worn during the negotiations. A warm smile, a hopeful smile. I think we have to try. That is what humans do. We try, we fail, we learn, we try again. Eventually, we succeed. She raised her glass. To silence, she said, and to all the words that come after. Her team raised their glasses too. To silence. They drank together as the stars burned outside the window. 1 month later, the first human ships returned to the trade routes. Doctors went back to their hospitals. Engineers went back to their stations. Teachers went back to their schools. The galaxy slowly began to heal. But things were different now. Humans were no longer invisible helpers working in the background. They were leaders. They were decision makers. They were equals. Varix visited Yuna in her new office on the council home world. His daughter stood beside him. She was healthy now, thanks to the human doctors who had treated her in secret during the crisis. Thank you, Varix said, for saving her. You did not have to do that. Yes, I did, Yuna replied. She was innocent. I could not let her pay for the council's mistakes. You are a good person, Senior Chair. I am trying to be. Varix and his daughter laughed. Yuna sat alone in her office for a moment, thinking about everything that had happened. She thought about the council vote that had silenced humanity. She thought about the ships turning back, the doctors leaving, the engineers walking away. She thought about the worlds that suffered, the people who died, the pain that filled the galaxy. She thought about Torek coming to beg for help, learning what silence really meant. She thought about the new agreement, the new position, the new responsibility, and it all started with a vote. A simple decision to silence a species that refused to support a war. The council had expected humans to protest, too.